Hey guys, my name is Jay Sanzo, and today I wanted to make a very candid, very personalized videos with you guys. See, the thing is, I've always wanted to make a YouTube video in the repair side of things, and every time I go on YouTube, you guys, there's some YouTube videos that are so great, so amazing. It's like, it makes me like, it defeats the purpose of me doing it. And man, I said to myself, I really want to get some content out there. There's some incredible things that still hasn't been created yet, and this one thing has been the linchpin that has really motivated me. And my love of video games and all electronics and all that stuff, this has made me motivated to make this video. So I present you guys the Nintendo Switch OLED. This is the main thing of this video. We're going to be doing the repair economics, what it takes to do the repair on a Nintendo Switch OLED, what the costs are, and all of it involved. And yeah, I'm going to run across with you everything as much as I can involved doing the Nintendo Switch OLED. So as you can see, what's special about this Nintendo Switch OLED is that not besides that it's a special edition Splatoon edition, it is also unfortunately, but my benefit, it's a cracked glass. Now, Nintendo Switch OLEDs, these particular models, Nintendo opted in creating a glass fixture for their display. Like they laminated the glass onto the display on their OLED. In this particular model, the glass is actually cracked. It's running from one end of the screen across the other. It's just a hairline crack. If you can see here on the other side, look at that. Look at that. So anyways, what we're gonna do, we're attempting to do for this video is we're gonna get the glass from the cracked one and put a whole new glass layer onto it. We're removing the cracked glass layer off of this one and essentially grabbing this one and applying it to this display, therefore making the Nintendo Switch non-cracked anymore. Another example would be this also lines with iPads. See this iPad, it's an amazing iPad. It's an 12.9 third generation. You can tell because it has one camera. And the unfortunate thing about this this iPad, it has a crack on it. See? And mind you, this is unscripted, you guys. So I'm just gonna be as candid as possible. Anyways, this hairline of a crack is running from one end all the way to the other. And we are going to be doing a glass only solution for this one. This is the glass only for this iPad. And as you can see here, this glass only will replace this crack onto this one and apply it just like so. Same goes with this Nintendo Switch. We're going to grab this Nintendo Switch and apply this, remove the cracked glass and apply a new glass to this Nintendo Switch OLED. And I'm super excited about it. Other examples, this is a very common thing, believe it or not. Another example is I have a iPad Air 5 that's also cracked. It's cracked here in the corner. Look at that. It hasn't even been set up. This is ready to be set up and repaired by me, by moi. So we got those out of the way. I wanted to show you other examples like this iPhone 13 Pro Max. That's also cracked, as you can see here. And for the 13 Pro Max, we also have a glass solution, as you can see here. See that? So as long as the display is intact, the OLED, and you can put a new glass layer onto it, you're golden. You don't have to replace a whole new display or OLED or LCD or what have you, the cost on replacing those is a lot more than just replacing the glass. For instance, I have an iPhone 15 Pro that's also cracked, as you can see here, but the display is good. This is a 15 Pro, regular Pro. And if we can see here, look at that. Look at that, you guys. See that? So with these devices, we're able to remove the glass and not only that, are able to save not only the customer side of things, but ourselves, we're able to make the repair much more affordable, but at the same time, we make a little bit more. And the way I believe we make a little bit more is that more customers will come to us in favor because we're obviously more affordable, and it's a win-win. We make the same amount, sometimes even more in margins, rather than replacing the whole entire display. And in some cases, the display may be an aftermarket display, or it may be a display that didn't originate from the original manufacturer. So sometimes it is important to salvage the original display. Now, I have a regular Nintendo Switch. This is a V1. You can tell because it has HAC001, which I believe it's the Hariko or Mariko. No, Mariko is the second one, but you guys can let me know in the comment section which version of this one is. But I believe these can be modded by using the, I don't know, the jig or whatever that goes on the side of it. Unfortunately for this one's broken, and I'm gonna be able to repair it. These in particular, I like to do a whole complete housing. But the reason I bring this one up versus the Nintendo Switch OLED is that you can see vastly how different of a device these two products are. The Nintendo Switch OLED is almost screen to tablet ratio is like 90. It's a lot more larger. You can see the gap. It's probably like 90% screen versus this one's like, I would say 70% screen. And not only that, you can clearly see an air gap between the glass and the display. And by the way, I don't even think this is glass. I think these are hard to find cracked. I don't even think they crack at all. It's like some sort of plexiglass. I don't know what Nintendo is using for this material, but I do have one right here. This is a whole shell, and as you can see, it's vastly different. The digitizer, by the way, the digitizer is a touch technology. It is embedded onto the glass or plexiglass or whatever it is that they used. It's embedded onto it. Let me grab this out of the frame real quick. There we go. And see, this is the glass digitizer. But I can see a thickness to this layer. It's almost like this plexiglass right here. See that? Look at that. It's a digitizer. This is the digitizer, which is responsible with the touch. I believe it responds to the electrical impulses of the human body. Therefore, if you touch it with your finger or elbow or even cheek, it'll respond to that. However, on the OLEDs, it's different. The digitizer is actually integrated to the display. So on OLEDs, typically, not all of them, not all cases, but in most cases, they are built into the display. But knowing this knowledge, all I know is that I can take the glass only and apply it to the display, which is the OLED, and this is the glass from a regular Switch. These are very malleable. It's hard for them to break. And I'm not worried because I should be wearing glasses, But for this particular example, I'm not too worried because I know in my mind it's not made out of glass. Maybe I could make an example and put a heat behind it and show that it melts. And the way it melts will sure enough let you guys know what this is made out of. But sure enough, I can grab a glass breaker. As a matter of fact, that's what I'll do. I'll grab a glass breaker, attempt to break it with the glass breaker, and see that it will not break like regular glass, like one of these guys. So without further ado, this is the Nintendo Switch OLED repair economics, and in the following moments you will see I'm going to be calling up some shops and see exactly what they're charging and why they're charging this. So again, without further ado, please enjoy the following section of the video. Okay, thank you guys. It's Memorial Day weekend, and I'm gonna see what U-Break iFix is gonna charge me to repair a cracked glass on my Nintendo Switch OLED. Just the glass only. Let's see what they're charged. Okay, I'm gonna call them right now. Hey, you guys are open on, so I thought you guys would be closed today.
Only open till about 5:30ish today.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, man, I'm calling in for something. I don't know if you guys do game console repairs?
We can, but they're not same day, unfortunately. What's going on?
I have a Nintendo Switch OLED. It's cracked. And it's just the glass that's cracked, but I wanted to see what the repair would be like.
Okay, let me look up some prices for you real quick. Give me a minute.
Please.
Hey, boss.
Hey.
So, as I said, I definitely don't have parts in stock for it right now. I can order a screen. Takes me I'd probably get the screen in by like the end of the week, honestly, at the latest.
Okay.
But the actual repair is going to cost $269.99 plus tax. Fortunately, it is. You do have to take it out of the back of the device because the way that they make it is that the cable for the screen is fed through the frame into the back of the device. I don't know why they designed it like that, but unfortunately, you do have to take up a good half of the device before you can even get the screen off of it. So there is a lot of labor involved in it.
I see.
But if you want me to order a part for you, you just need to come in, leave a 50% down payment for the device, just so I know that you're going to actually do the repair, and then I can order the part for you.
Right, and 265, is that before tax or after tax?
That is before tax. After tax, it's closer to 300, but I'm not too sure what it is exactly.
Oof. Okay. Let me see if I can get this figured out. If otherwise, I'll give you a call back. Thank you so much, sir.
No problem.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Oh, and I forgot to say, Happy Memorial Day weekend to him. Anyways, there you have it. Nearly $300, $265 plus tax to repair a cracked glass only. And let's have a little bit of fun and try somebody else. Let's see if we can find a good price out there. Hi, I was just calling in. Happy Memorial Day, by the way. I was just calling in if you guys do any game console repairs.
What kind of problem do you have?
I have a Nintendo Switch OLED. The glass is cracked.
That one for the screen will be like 149 something.
149.
Yeah.
149 something. So is that?
We have to order the part.
I see. And this is for the OLED and replacement screen, correct?
For the OLED, I have to double check. If you wait,
Please.
I can check.
Please, can you check for me, please?
So you know the exact model of the Nintendo Switch? What's
Yeah,
series?
it's called the Nintendo Switch OLED.
Okay, let me check that one.
In other words, it's like the Mariko, right? HEG-001.
Sorry, sir. For that model is $239. The screen.
$239. Oh my goodness. Okay. So it's not 149, it's 239.
No, this is for the
OLED. Yes, it's the OLED display.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate
No
the
problem.
honesty. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right.
Okay, yeah, it seems like it's something we can definitely replace on it. I just need to confirm the actual, because there's like a couple different versions for the...
Yes, this is a Nintendo Switch OLED. Primarily the OLED display, just the cracked glass on it.
Oh yeah, correct. I'm just talking about there's like different versions for the same model. Once if you bring in, I can order the right you. The quote is the same. The quote to replace the screen on it is $249.99.
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
And I mean, to do so, I mean, I have to order the screen. Usually, we can overnight it. Once we get the part, same day labor for that.
I see.
Obviously, with warranty, 3 months warranty for that repair, and yeah, same day repair.
Got it. Got it. Well, thank you so much.
Of course. Have a good day.
Yeah, bye-bye. So there you have it. It seemed as though most of the repair shops were charging $250 for the glass only on the Nintendo Switch. Most of them told me it's not just the glass, it's bonded to the display. So they were charging me $250. Some of which were a little bit more, others were a little bit less. But it seemed as though they were all unified around that same price of $250 plus tax. Some even at upwards at $265 plus tax, just to repair the crack on a Nintendo Switch OLED. Now, I did call one repair shop. I think they were charging me $150. And I think I feel it in my bones that they were confused, even though I told them it was a Nintendo Switch OLED, that they were charging me $150. And I repeated myself multiple times, are you sure this is for a Nintendo Switch? And they reiterated back to me, it's going to be $150 for the repair. I believe that was the best repair price for that situation. And I said to myself, and even though it was a great price, I just, it's hard for me to believe that, because repairing the display, it's a lot of work. More so even that we're gonna do the glass only solution for the Nintendo Switch OLED. Now let's look at the reason why they're charging $250 and the unfortunate truth behind it. Okay, so if we're gonna go look over here, let's go on my computer and check this out. I'm gonna put this aside and let's see why they're charging this. If you can look here in my computer. All right, ready, set, go. There, if we go to phone LCD parts, they charge $128 for the display. This is a Nintendo Switch OLED assembly. Essentially, they're charging $128 plus tax and shipping and handling. It comes out to like $135, $140. Same goes if we go to Mobile Centrics, again, they charge a little bit over $1 more than phone LCD parts. And if we go to Wholesale Gadget Parts, they may have the best price on the display, which is just under $100, which is $94.99. If we go to AliExpress, however, or Alibaba, you can find them as low as $61 or even $60. but you have to wait for the shipping to arrive and the shipping charges. So I'd say that would run you close to $70 when it's done and over with. Why? Because you have to pay for all that stuff, and then the time that it takes for it to come to the States. For example, this is another one. This is from Alibaba, and again, you have to find your good sources for this good product because, again, we're dealing with a Nintendo Switch OLED, and these displays may not be the original manufactured by Nintendo. Although it is using the same display technology, again, you have to factor that in. But there's nowhere else but China that reproduces these displays. So, which means this is the only best bet. And for the guy that was charging me $150, if I put myself in his position, he might have bought the display for $70 and he's making double his profit, so 70 to 150. It's not so bad if he really wanted to do it. But at the same time, the cost of the arrival, it's going to take 3 weeks for it to come overseas. I don't know if that's feasible or not. Now, there's one thing that is in common with all these marketplaces is that the one striking thing is, where is the glass? Where can we get the glass? And most of these wholesalers, like Phonos LED Parts, does not carry the glass. It would be amazing. It'd be awesome to have the glass only option, but it seems like they're all unified. And this is not the glass. This is just a tempered glass. There's a difference between the actual glass, and a tempered glass. We want to get the actual glass solution. If we go to Mobilecentrics, as the same story there, you cannot find the glass. It's just, I don't know what's going on. Did they drop the ball? What's going on here? Why isn't the glass easily sourced? Same goes with Wholesale Gadget Parts. Wholesale Gadget Parts has a hard time getting the glass. Now, if we go back to Phonos LED Parts and say we wanted to get an iPad glass. So Phone LCD Parts, this is the iPad section, and the display for the iPad is $165. You factor in that the glass is $40, but wait a minute, this is not just the glass, this is the glass digitizer. We want the glass only because, as I showed you with the Nintendo Switch regular one, the regular one being that it had the glass and digitizer attached to it, we don't want that. We want the actual glass. And it seems as though Phone LCD Parts doesn't have it. That's no good. Let's check if Mobilecentrics has it. Now here it is. Again, this is a glass and digitizer. We don't want that. These run from, and this is an aftermarket. This is the OEM. Now here is the one that you want. It's $8 for the glass. This is the glass only, and this glass layer will cover the original display, so that way you're saving yourself $166 for the display and buying it for $7 to repair it. So that's great margins, for those, if you can't see them, figure out the math. And going back to the people that I called, this is the reason why they have to charge $250, because the display itself is $130. Again, with Mobilecentrics, if we go back to Mobilecentrics, it's $130. Plus you have to factor in your taxes. If we go to Wholesale Gadget Parts and we go to Apple, iPad Pro 12.9, third generation, and there it is. They have no image for the display, but it's $142. And I believe Wholesale Gadget Parts has the best bang for your buck for what you're trying to get, which is your glass only. So if we scroll down, look for the glass, see if here it is, $4 freaking dollars. $4 just for the glass. And that's incredible. Versus that's half the price of almost half what Mobilecentrics is charging, So that's that's awesome. That's awesome. That's incredible. Wow. And the glass is, it's just glass. That's what they put on these devices. So it's incredible. Let's look at other examples, like in eBay. eBay, you can buy the glass and the display, but there's still no glass only place where you can buy it. You either have to buy the whole entire unit itself, or buy a used one like this one for $80, $60. It's a used unit, and you have to worry about the shipping and handling off of this one, because it's not only $60, but you have to worry about the $25 on top of that. So it's still very pricey, very pricey. And even if, like, for example, this one, $80, really? And this one's cracked. Look at this. He wants the display for $80 and it's cracked. Get out of here. You can grab another one for a little bit from China, or a brand new one from Wholesale Gadget Parts for a little bit more. So why even bother with the putting the risk and labor and time into it? This has no other parts. It has a crack going across with some smaller cracks. So yes, this is ridiculous. It's unfortunate, but I'm not going to be buying something like this. It's not feasible. Now, this is an example of a Nintendo Switch. Looks right here. Nintendo Switch OLED video game console, tablet only, cracked glass and hinge. So look at this one. This is very, very cracked. They're asking $165 plus tax and shipping, whatever it is it's going to cost to purchase this. And this just serves that there's a market for this. Look how just cracked that is. Look at that. Wow. And it still functions. It's incredible. And I just wonder exactly how many people are out there with the cracked glass on their poor Nintendo Switch OLED. This is a disaster. Look at this. Let's get over here. Again, that's the same one. Now, I believe there's another one. This one ended. He never sold it. It was $180, and there's no way he was able to sell this. He had 3 available, but he ended the listing. Why? Because nobody was buying it. It's just ridiculous. You can't. Why pay $180 for a cracked glass? You're gonna have to spend another $130 just to repair it. It just doesn't make sense. At that point, you're just wind up getting a new one. It just doesn't make sense. It's not feasible. And it doesn't even come with the Joy-Cons. It doesn't come with the dock or anything like that. The power cable, the AC adapter, none of that. So who is this really for? I wonder. I don't understand. It's just a weird world that we're living in. It just doesn't make sense for me to buy it. So therefore, it never sold. They had to end this listing. It's unavailable now, unfortunately. Now, if it took me a long time to get this glass, and I want to tell you guys, I was able to. It took me a month, but if we go to chasmparts.com, this is where you finally find the glass only for the Nintendo Switch OLED, and this is $16.80. I went ahead and bought most of their stock. He had 27 of them. Now that I bought 10 of them, he has only 17 in stock. So it's a limited stock. Look at this. These are the glass, and this is the best solution for your Nintendo Switch. It's the cheapest alternative, rather than buying them from anywhere from $60 from overseas to $130 domestically. And plus, you're able to salvage the original display. Now, for example, if we go on, this is my receipt, and as you can see, my order details, I purchased 10 of these just to see what the quality was, and these were my exact cost. Okay, so moving forward, as you can see that the prices very varied from across the board, but still the glass only solution is the best solution. Now if we come over here, so look at these are broken display. These are, unfortunately, these Nintendo Switches, these OLEDs on these are damaged. So even though I replace the glass off of these, it's still not going to function. For these, unfortunately, you have to change the display. So whether you want to buy it from Wholesale Gadget Parts, which is the best price, and I know those guys, I've met them a couple times in the shows, in the repair shows, and they have the best price for the OLED at $95, just underneath $100. Or you can go to my other buddy's Phone LCD Parts. I love Phone LCD Parts for, you know, if you need to get their phones, anything that has to do with iPads, iPhones, whatever it is, Phone LCD Parts will take care of you. Anyways, before I move forward, this Nintendo Switch, thank you for Antonio. He was the one that got me the Switch. He was the one who found this Switch for me, and I am just so happy about it. So I could have gotten, this is a Nintendo Switch OLED with an intact display. I could have gone and grabbed my glass breaker and cracked this one for the purpose of this video, but I didn't. I didn't because it's just a shame to do that. You know, you don't want to damage. It's just, you don't want to do that, you know. So Antonio went out of his way and found me this one, and thank you, Antonio, for helping me out in that. I really didn't want to crack a perfectly good Nintendo Switch OLED. I'm gonna grab some alcohol because, as you can see there, look at that right there, looks beautiful. So again, thank you, Antonio, for providing me this Nintendo Switch. I'm gonna be repairing it. I got it off of him, he found it for me, and now I have a Nintendo Switch OLED that's cracked, and the Splatoon edition, which is awesome and neat. Okay, so enough blabbering, let's get to it. What is the first step to getting this figured out? Now the first step I'm going to do is apply optical clear adhesive to the glass. Okay, and this is the layer that laminates with the OLED. So let's grab this rubberized mat, because as you can see, the glass will move, it shifts. You don't want it to move. You want it to be sticky and sturdy on the surface. So now I can't move it at all. No matter how much I try, it's just not going to move. It's just going to stay. This gives me the opportunity to grab the OCA, the optical clear adhesive, and laminate it with a roller. Grab this roller. It's brand new in the packaging just for this, and I'm going to use it to laminate this sheet across the glass. So let's try it. There you have it. Nice and easy. Okay, there you have it. Nice and wonderful. We're gonna take off the battery and we're gonna get the hot plate. So this is a Nissan hot plate. The company's from Nissan. You can always get any other kind of hot plates as long as you're able to do what it's meant to do, right? So this hot plate is gonna warm up. I'm gonna have my Nintendo Switch with the hairline crack on it, and I'm gonna make it to work. We're gonna get this hot plate at 94, 95 Celsius. Shouldn't be too bad, and without harming the battery as well and the display. Okay, so we're gonna wait for it to warm up and we're gonna proceed. Okay, now that with the battery removed, the hot plate is running a little higher than I thought. It's not at 95, it's in fact 111 Celsius, but that's fine. It's not gonna harm the display or anything. It can withstand those temperatures. But if it was the battery, then yeah, that you'd want the battery out from the housing. So let's proceed in removing the display from the housing. Okay, so it's really piping hot, so you want to make sure to run your alcohol all across so that the liquid drizzles in between the wedges, because that is key. You want the alcohol to go in between the wedges. Okay, I'm just kind of figuring out where I should be, where I'm at. I'm going to start on this side away from the flex cable because the flex cable is right here. So I'm going to start on this end. Okay. Let's do that one more time, right here. Okay, you just wedge, going between the wedge. That's all you're doing. You're letting the alcohol do its work by going in between and softening the adhesive in between. Okay, that's all you're doing. Okay, let's do it on the other side. Okay, there we go. And alcohol is not going to do nothing to the display. It'll be fine. What we're doing here is we're wedging the blade in between the glass and the housing so that the alcohol can go in between. Okay. So let's do that. Go. It's not so bad. Okay. I'm being very sensitive. I'm not being too forceful. Okay. You can hear the boiling of the alcohol. And as you can see, the display is lifting. Not so bad. Okay, see that? Have a little closer look so you guys can see what I'm talking about. See that? See how it's already lifting? I'm not even trying. Look at that. It's just already loosening up. Why? Because of the alcohol. Look at that. Okay? So that's what we want. These displays are very fragile, so any false move could mean life or death. You don't want that display to get damaged, you know? Okay. I think we're almost there. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open it up like a book because I know that the flex cable is on this side. So let's do that. See that? Ooh, that's really hot. Okay. So, as you can see there, careful, careful, and easy peasy. Look at that. An original OLED display from Nintendo, from the big boys. Look at that. See that? And there's your hairline of crack right there. It's also cracked from this corner. It's almost chipped right here. See that? Okay, we're gonna proceed in removing the glass now using the hot plate, okay? It works in both ways. It can also not only use it as a hot plate, but it also sucks. So let me get the rubber mat and we're gonna go proceed on the next step. Okay, so there it is. There's a hairline of a crack right here, as you can see. And right here, this chipped right here in the corner. So anyways, what we're gonna do, this is the rubber mat. It's gonna help me suction the display down, okay? And it's still running at 111 Celsius. So we'll do that. And we're gonna take off the adhesive all around the perimeter. Okay, so let's begin. I already started one corner. Let me help that with the blade. Nice and easy because you don't want to slip and hit the display. I'm pretty confident the display is 100%. Usually we test them after removing the housing, but I've been doing this for a while. I'm pretty confident that it is going to be okay, but we are going to test it once we cut the glass and remove the glass layer away from the display. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just removing this rim around the corners. It's an adhesive. This is going to help me make an incision with the wire to make a smooth cut. So remember, the glass costed me $22 rather than buying a whole entire OLED for $130 domestically, locally, or $100 from wholesale gadget parts. I'm going to be doing this for an astounding $22.50. Much, much better. And it's going to save myself the money and practically my customers money. Why would I charge $250, you know? So I'm going to start off with one corner. Oof. And before I start, I need to grab my other because it gets really hot, so I have to put gloves on both hands. So let's do this. Oof. Super excited about this. All right, let's get this going. So easy insertion. We got one corner in. Very nice, very beautiful. Look at that. Seamless. Gracefully cutting through like it's nothing, right? The machine's doing the work for me while I'm just directing the wire where it should go. Okay? As you can see, it's a very graceful cut. Okay? This is a much, much better application than, you know, than buying a whole new display. If it were me and I had to do a repair for a customer to do this, or for anybody, I would charge between $130 and $150. I believe that is a fair price for this type of repair. Not only will I make money in doing it, my customer is going to save much more rather than having the conventional location and charge them $250 plus tax. That's way too much. But if you have somebody that's able to do a glass only solution, not only that, but is able to provide you the glass, because the glass is really hard to get. Kazan Parts is the only one that I know. I'm going to go one more time just to make sure that the cut was successful. Kazan Parts is the only one. It took me about almost 3 months to get his information to be referred to him. And it was actually, in fact, the buddies over at Phone LCD Parts that helped me with that. So thank you guys at Phone LCD Parts for helping me allocate the guys over at Kazan Parts. So there we have it. This is the Nintendo Switch OLED. And you see that? This is the old adhesive, the old optical clear adhesive that is bonded to the glass. So now that we've done away with this glass, that's a success. We are gonna turn this off and proceed to the next step, which is obviously cleaning all this glue, okay? Okay, so I had to get a larger mat because the smaller one, although it was good for cutting, I need a much broader flat surface for removing this adhesive. So I'm just gonna go with this, use this tool to help me remove this adhesive. Okay, let's go for it. Okay, nice and careful. All right. Now I gotta make sure not to damage the display while doing this. That's why I got a bigger mat. So I'm gonna fast forward this and you guys will see. And there you have it. Look at that. Look how beautiful that came out as compared to the original glass, which is the hairline crack right there in between. And as you can see, how I got it to this point as clean as possible, I used a variation of 3 chemicals and the spindle and a plastic blade. You need that plastic blade to remove any debris or residue. So I used alcohol, 99%, or 91% at this case, acetone to refine that cleaning, and lastly, delimining. This is a special chemical for the adhesion that they put for optical clear adhesive. So now we're gonna go to the next and final step, applying the glass. But before we do, we're gonna test this first before anything. So let's go for that. Okay, guys, moment of truth. Let's turn this guy on. Remember, the battery is pretty low at this moment, and it looks like we have booted on the Nintendo logo. Look at that, beautiful. This is a display that's been removed from the cracked glass layer. So there it is. Here is the new glass that we're going to apply to it. And let's make sure that the touch actually works. Let's get this guy back on. Okay, there we go. There we go. And as you can see, the touch is still active. It's still, you're able to interact with the interface of the display. Whatever you want to go check, go to system settings, all that stuff, you're able to. And obviously the display here has been, you know, it's literally exposed. You know, there's nothing on display. It's just all display, no glass, no nothing. It's the actual OLED. So, you know, as obviously this is a newer device. I don't have a Nintendo account, so I won't be able to go there. I wish I could show you a game. Maybe if I had a game, I'd show you how to play it. But even with the Joy-Cons, if I had a Joy-Cons to attach the system with, I'd be able to play. So for example, I'm off screen at the moment. Maybe not. So I thought the Joy-Cons could detect. Oh, there it is. So as you can see there, the Joy-Cons are working. I got a little worried about that a moment ago. But anyways, there you have it. You can play your games, do all that, and it's gonna be much more better when we apply the new glass. So we are gonna go on the next and final step. We're gonna refine this display and make it as spotless as possible, because we don't want nothing caught in between the glass and the OLED display. So I'm gonna make this as beautiful as possible. No smudges, no lint, not one speck of dust. Okay. Line it. Nice and careful. Let it drop. There it is. It's aligned. And what I'm gonna do before it gets stuck, I'm gonna push it through the flex cable in the back. Gotta be careful because one false move, that's it. There you go. Okay. It has connected. Oh no. I gotta be as gentle as possible. I put that there on purpose so that it wouldn't contact to the housing. So now that's that, I think that's it. So we're gonna go on to the next part, and I'm gonna grab it facing down. I'm gonna go to the next room and laminate. Okay, I'm right here. It's still on there, so gotta be very careful because one false move, I could make the display crooked, so we don't want that. This is my laminating machine, so it'll laminate glass to displays. Anyways, you want to put the glass facing down. Ooh, before I do that, let me put a plastic sheet there. That way it doesn't scratch, because I want the glass to be as seamless as possible. There we go. And then we're gonna put our black magic sponge on top of it so it doesn't damage the display. And we're gonna go like so, automatic, and there you have it. Once it's finished and locks, give it about 2-3 minutes, and I believe we have a successful lamination. It's at the 4-minute marker right here. I'm just gonna stop it because pretty much in my experience, they're always normally done by within 3 minutes. Oh, well, there you go. It did itself a favor. I have to wait. Okay. And one thing I forgot to mention is I forgot to take off the adhesive. So the black magic sponge is stuck to the display. So I'm gonna carefully remove it as best as I can. But there you have it, you guys. Look at this. Wow. There you go. See that? And I'm gonna have to detach this as best as I can because I did a boo-boo. Oh, that was much easier than I anticipated. Okay. Cool. So now that we had, look at this. So clean, so new. Fresh, new glass. Okay. Now we can install this and be done. make sure it's all aligned properly. Oops. There we go. Oh yeah, that ain't going anywhere. Although I do have to clean the sides. Look at this. So let's grab some acetone. Just really clean off the edges. So there you have it. A newly installed glass on the Nintendo Switch OLED. Good as new. This has been a complete success. Beautiful. And all it needs now is practically a tempered glass. And a new user account, of course. So all in all, this is a great success. Super happy about it. And yeah, let's wrap things up and get to the end. All right, you guys, to finish off, I got 3 things to leave off of. So the glass only solutions for devices like these is nothing new to me. As you can see, everything's all responsive and good to go. And so for me, there's nothing, I'm pretty experienced. This procedure is a very skilled, hands-on. There's no soldering involved, but it requires such a craft skilled individual to even accomplish this. I was able to do this on my first try. Believe it or not. Now, refurbishing glass or doing glass only solutions is nothing new to me. I've done iPads. I've done iPhones that are cracked. I've even done Apple Watches. But the thing that's special about the Nintendo Switch and about this video is that, believe it or not, this glass only solution is very rare. Why? Because of this. This glass was very hard for me to source. This is one of the most challenging glass I've ever had from any other device. That being from any iPhone or Samsung's, even Apple Watches. Like this glass it took me 3 months to source this glass. And that is a barrier point of entry. It's difficult getting this glass. Now, doing the procedure wasn't so much of a challenge. You'd have to build up the skill and also purchase the materials to do it. Not only that, the equipment and machinery as well. So that all has to be factored and played into play. The next thing I wanted to touch upon is, am I going to become a millionaire doing this? By no means, I don't believe so. You see, Nintendo Switch OLEDs, since their introduction in 2021, that's like more than 20 years ago, plus, since 2021, when they were introduced, the Nintendo Switch has successfully had a little bit over 2.5 years of its success, and it's been an amazing run. And as of 2001 to all the way the end of 2023, there's been an approximately 17 million Nintendo Switch OLED units sold already, just on the OLED itself. I'm not talking about overall sales. 17 million of these guys, bad boys, these puppies right here, has been sold. So Nintendo has an outlook that another 8 million units are going to be sold. And if that's the case, 17 plus 8, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 25 million units by the end of 2024. kind of guesstimating. And if I were to really pinpoint that, if I were to uh, do that many amount of work, I'd say, I don't know, you guys. In America alone, in the United States, here in the United States, probably half of that, of the 17 million, that brings us down to 8.5. I could be wrong, maybe even less than that. And a percentage of that, maybe 0.2%, or even less, like 2%, 3% of those Switch owners have actually damaged their cracked glass. In other words, has managed to crack their glass on their Nintendo Switch OLED. Now, with that being said, do I see me raking in the dough with repairing so many Nintendo Switch OLEDs? I don't know. I don't think so. Not unless everybody would come out in the woodworks and start knocking on my door and, hey, I want your Nintendo Switch OLED glass only solution repair. Can you service that for me? If I were to do this, it would be between $130 to $150, and I would probably end up making $100 a pop each time I do one. It's a hell of a lot better than charging my customers $250, but if I were to do it, that's how much I would personally charge. And out of a whole entire fiscal year, the goal would at least do about 2,000 OLED Switch repairs. That brings me 100 times 2,000. Realistically, that's $200,000 in a year doing nothing but Nintendo Switch OLEDs. And do I foresee that happening? Yeah, one can hope so. But above all else, I had simply got the honor to be able to be one of the first ones. I'm here in Florida, and I may be the only one that has done all entire state of Florida, or maybe the whole entire East Coast, that not only carries this glass but has done this glass only solution. And before I let you go, I'd like to thank to Milton and Eric, who's helped me get in touch with Kazin Parts. They're from Phone LCD Parts. And lastly, again, Antonio, thank you for sourcing me this Nintendo Switch OLED. And to every one of you guys that have participated towards the end. And that last thing I wanted to show you guys, this last piece of nugget, I hope you like it. I'm going to show you right on the next part. So I'm going to show you guys one piece of last little golden nugget before I end the video. And that is the difference between the glass off of the Nintendo Switch OLED and the glass that they used for the regular Nintendo Switches. And we're going to see why the Nintendo regular Switches don't crack the same way as Nintendo Switch OLEDs. Because, as you can see here, I'm gonna grab my hot iron and show it to you guys real close. See if you guys can see that real closely right there. Look at this, this is plastic, right? So if I grab my iron, see that how it just did that right there? Let's do it again. Doesn't matter where. See how it's just melting the plastic? Now, in theory, this should not happen with glass. This shouldn't even be possible with glass. Plastic, of course, because the housing is made out of plastic. But if we were to take the glass out, or the plexiglass, or whatever they use to do this, right? And remember, right? And I have my safety goggles, so should anything happen, my eyes are protected. So again, this is what they used. And let me take off the adhesion right here. You guys are gonna love this. Okay. A piece of the adhesion has been taken off and removed. There you go. And let me grab the iron. And moment of truth. Let's see what happens. See, look at that. This should not be happening with glass. It's melting right through. It's melting right through. I can even cut a whole entire layer off of this. Look at this. This is why the Nintendo Switch OLED will never crack. Oh, I'm sorry, the regular Switches, I'm sorry. This is why the regular Switch is never going to crack, because obviously it's made out of some sort of plexiglass. This should not be happening at all. So there you have it with this one. Now, the next thing I wanted to show you guys is the actual glass for the Nintendo Switch OLED. This is actual glass. So actual glass should not happen. It shouldn't cut through at all. So we're gonna do the exact same test with the regular Switch glass to this actual glass. This is a Nintendo Switch glass OLED. You can see the it's serialized right here. There's no way. Glass cannot melt at those temperatures. You need much, much, much higher density of heat, higher temperatures of heat to be able to melt glass. This ain't doing nothing. It's not going to do nothing. And it'll never will be. It's not hot enough. The temperatures are not there. But if you grab the original Nintendo Switch, as you can see, you can just, if you really want to, you can just bust through like it's nothing. And it is going through. Look at that. Look at that. That is no good. Now, we'll do the same thing to this glass. Nope. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. So, that was one little fun fact. And if you guys happen to come across a Nintendo Switch OLED that's not cracked, that's intact, again, let me reiterate, if you guys find a Nintendo Switch OLED that is scratched, that's been mauled by a tiger, like, there is a solution to remove those scratches. So, believe it or not, every Nintendo Switch OLED encased in their packages, and I'm going to come right back so I can show you guys. Every Nintendo Switch, this is the one I just refurbished, or this is the one that I just did with the glass only. Every single Nintendo Switch OLED, straight from the packaging from Nintendo, believe it or not, has a screen protector. So even though it's been mauled by a tiger, not to worry. You can actually remove the screen protector on every single one of them. I mean, why couldn't they do this for phones? I wish you can just open up a box of iPhone and have a screen protector already attached to the display. Same thing with an iPad or tablet or whatever, what have you. Every phone out there should actually, follow what Nintendo's doing, where they laminate a tempered glass or some type of film protector on their devices. Knowing that it's made out of glass, it's going to prevent it from cracking. I mean, it's not going to prevent. I'd say 75% success rate of crack prevention. But I mean, that's a whole lot better than just leaving it bare like that, like the other companies do. So anyways, these are already cracked, but I wanted to showcase you guys. I don't know I think I already took it off from this one. Did I take it off from this one? I think I did. So that one's going to be a no-go, but I'm going to show it to you with this one. This one, it's severely cracked. And all you gotta do is grab a blade, go in between the seam right here. I'm just gonna go a little bit with the blade here, and boom. Look at that. Believe it or not, every single Nintendo Switch OLED has a screen protector. Isn't that amazing? And no, you're not harming the I'm just doing this as an example. You got to have a really fine blade for this. And you're not going to be harming the Switch, obviously. But this is on every Nintendo Switch OLED. Brand new in the packaging. You don't believe me? Let's take a look at the glass that we just removed from the Nintendo Switch OLED, the one that I just refurbished. This one has a screen protector onto the glass. We're right here. Let's grab it from here. See, right there. Every single one of them. I gotta be careful because I don't want to hurt myself in the process. But you get the idea. It's a little bit harder because it's not on the housing. And besides, I'm holding it in a certain way so it doesn't crack anymore, but there it is. Straight from the factory. Look at that. Okay. See that? So now you guys know that every Nintendo Switch OLED has a sheet of protector on it. And I mean, it does prevent from the glass from cracking like normal devices. So if you guys happen to see a Nintendo Switch that's scratched, that's been mauled by a tiger, you can save yourself some money, remove the sheet, and then apply an actual tempered glass. So there you have it. You guys have a good day. Thank you for watching the whole video until the end. Subscribe, put like on the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.